Hello and welcome to another episode of the weekend match reaction here on the Goalline Conversations TV. My name is Michael, flying bright in blue in the blue corner. We are here. We got Toju from the World Actually podcast. You see him flying in his bright red colors, Liverpool fan, and you know him, the one and only, undisputed, reckless delegate himself, JJ, flying GGMU. GGMU. We can say loud and proud now. Not like last season, where it's like, let's see how the season goes. But now everything is bright with Mayu.
Yes.
Anyway, guys, welcome to a very packed episode. Hey, guys, I told you guys, even though there is no football, but there's football topic that is still flowing around. So therefore, we will have something to talk about. So don't worry. I know we did not record last Sunday, but you know why? We know that there's a certain group of fans that won. And this internet street was not safe out here for any one of us. We had to go into full defense mode because the agenda were agenda. And God is a very merciful God. Because if they had won that game yesterday, you know them. In fact, we'll have had to close down Obasanjo's internet. Just put a temporary hold. No posting from rival fans. They are going to be using mouth to say anything. But the God that we serve, a ever-living God, do not let this bunch of terrorists, that's what I call them, terrorists, football terrorists, scam their way to a Champions League trophy. But let's dive right into there. PSG, Arsenal. Arsenal obviously being the group of fans we are talking about. When I watched this match, I was telling Toju, I said, after Havertz scored, after 5 minutes, I said, God, these people have shut up. They are not going to play anything anymore. They are not going to play anything anymore. I said, this is the worst start that PSG could have ever had. Because now you have already there was only one game plan before this game started. We all knew what was going to happen. Sit back, around ball, corner, set piece. Then they'll try and get one goal. And then once that one goal entered, it was literally wraps. And to even make it worse, every Arsenal fan, and I've not seen any one of them, when they were looking for score prediction for this game, do you know it's like all of them, it's as if Arteta released a press statement. All of them were saying the same thing, and they were proud saying this rubbish. It's a 1-0, we'll scam the 1-0, and then we'll lock up shop. And it's literally, I'm telling you, it's almost verbatim in regards to how I was hearing them say. Like, and these are different Arsenal fans, not on the same show, different shows. 1-0, corner FC, corner score, boom, lock up shop. I was like, and I saw the 1-0 after the first half. I said, FSC is about to be real. It's about to become reality. I said, God, you cannot let these people get away with this. First half, these football terrorists were wasting time. Anyway, before we go into the whole spiel of it, what are your thoughts first half watching that game? Any one of you that want to take it, you can go ahead.
Fear. After that first, I was like, am I going to have to give these people credit? Am I going to have to worship at the haram altar? Am I going to have to say, as long as you win, as long as you get results, everything is good, going against everything I believe in? But the God that I serve, God that I serve.
God, you did this one for us.
So it not forsake me. Because it was just because Havertz, even the goal, it was a quality goal. Like, I don't want to discount the goal. It wasn't their typical corner throwing, whatever. It was quality. But that was the last moment they played football in that match. So like it's like one of those courses where all you have to do is mark attendance and you passed. They were like, we have shown up, we've done it, and they did, and they wanted to do that for 120 minutes. Like I was just honestly, I was literally coming up with the speech in my head because I was like, I can't say all this trash about them, and then when they win everything, like, be quiet. Like, I was coming to terms with that. And God said, I will not embarrass you in front of your enemies. Say no. This I will not drape you in sorrow. I will not drape you in shame. But PSG fell right into the trap. PSG for most of the first half and half of the second, they looked lost. They looked like, when do you see PSG taking all those long shots?
They were clueless. Vitinha was with the ball, and he was like, "Where's the movement? Oh yeah, pass to the side, bring it back to me. Who's moving? Pass to the side." Then Dembele said, "I'm tired of being stuck in there. He will now come and become the second center mid." I'm like, brother, if you are the center mid, who is that? The striker?
I honestly think PSG was lazy, and I'll speak to that a little bit more. But to go back to your initial question, you know those when Nollywood first came out and something bad happened, you were my enemies have won. And then followed by that sound effect, right? Do. I was upstairs in the house, and of course, you know, the ball eats, I think Trossard, they were trying to clear the ball or something. Eats Trossard, falls into Havertz, and I think it was Havertz versus, is that Pacho or Marquinhos? I'm not too sure which one, but he was asleep. Took him on the run. And what people don't get sometimes, because even though let me put this in context a little bit. You know the way they say, oh, a keeper should never get beat at their near post? I'm sorry. When the ball is coming at you at that speed, you getting beat. You are even though I honestly do think that the PSG keeper is a bit basura to some extent, right? Yeah. But when the shot is close to you that much and the striker just
he didn't even see the ball, man.
You will get beat because it's coming straight to your face. So is it that he tried. But right after that, though, and I'm sure we're still gonna get into the back and forth on the game. The way I felt in that 6 minutes mark, I'm like, God, Clark, did they just score? Like Arsenal just scored? Like I couldn't, wasn't, because we just said, because even to give you more context, I was playing tennis and wifey called me. I had a baby shower I was supposed to go. And the way we say you don't schedule a wedding on the day of Super Bowl. I said, babe, this birthday, it was a birthday party that's supposed to go. They've scheduled it on the day of UEFA final. You guys go. I put God with you. Me, I'm not coming, no. So imagine, because if I had been at that birthday party, I would have been pissed. They would have probably said, you know what, Dad, who is the father of the kids over there? Take the father house. Don't let him sit down. Because that was the way my mood was. For that 6 minutes, I was like, what the hell? But hey, the God we serve, he like beautiful things. He doesn't like ugly things. Because what Arsenal star does is worse than when you getting cold meals at the wedding, right? It was really horrible. And they want to force it down our throats. It wasn't.
They were playing like they had 10 men down. Like they were 1 man down. I think they got a red card. That's the way they were playing.
Yeah, it's a bit worse than that. So since we're going there, right? A bit worse than that. I've seen counter-attacking team. Arsenal wasn't counter-attacking yesterday. Because the way because United, because even when you're playing counter-attack, you could set up your block a couple of ways. You could do mid-block counter-attack or you could do low-block counter-attack. Shout out to Sam Allardyce. Shout out to Stoke City of back in the day. You're still going to have like an attacker that can beat with speed, that when you get the ball, you just go vertical. They were not doing that.
Brother, Havertz was a DM.
They defended with everybody behind the
was
ball.
A DM. They were playing a back six.
Behind the ball.
Saka was a wing back. But he was going back to his first Arsenal days.
That is even fine. You could double a winger. All of that. You see all the principle of doubling a winger that is good. All of that I still agree with. But if you are playing counter-attack, right, typically the way the low-block teams even set up is, you see the two people, because they were playing a 4-4-2 setup, the two people at the top, they typically just stay around the center-back. When you bypass them to the player in the middle, they don't. Arsenal is like, okay, we don't really want to stay with the center-back. We want to stay with the midfield. That is where Havertz and Odegaard, in the first half. So it wasn't I'm sure if they can find the video one day, they only react for one thing for that game. They react for defense. I don't think they mentioned offense for the whole 1 week or 2 weeks that they've had the break. It's like, they're asking, what is the answer to question A? Defense. What's the answer to question B? Defense. That is all they did. And they started 4 center-backs. Check it out. Mosquera, center-back. Saliba, center-back. Gabriel, center-back. Nkapé, center-back. A Calafiori, which is, even though it was a centre-back by trade, that is a bit offensive, he's been playing left-back, even for Italy, they didn't even start him. So we knew what was about from the beginning. Don't let this deceiving of, because there's Luis Kelly in the middle. No.
Back six.
Bro,
two
man.
in the middle.
It was horrible.
And then two in the four. It's back six, and then the rest of you in the midfield.
Mike, let me give you one stat. How many passes do you think Arsenal completed in the first half? We're going to do what is the price is right. Who gets closer to the number? How many passes do you think they complete?
Let's say 90.
All right. Told you.
Because his price is right, I'll say 91.
You guys are so generous. The King of England, the Premier League champion, completed 68 passes in the whole of first half. 68. 68 freaking pass.
Wow.
In the whole of first half in 45 minutes. That is how much they didn't want the. It's like they thought they're gonna be suspected as being sauce if they touch the ball. They didn't want any 68 passes.
Less than 2 passes
per minute. Exactly. For the whole of first half. Go check on Opta. For first half, they completed 68 passes. Even the fact Mourinho's team completed more than that, even when they played defensive football. 68 passes in first half. I have Saka, the star boy.
4 passes. 4
passes.
4 completed passes.
For 70, was it like, we played like 72 minutes, I think?
Yeah, 72, yeah.
4 passes. 72. So, it's, thank God for yesterday, because like, it would have been one of those things where the end justified the means storyline, and they are shame. They call us like, we're being shameless, wanting Arsenal to lose. Like, no disrespect. And even, I'll show you another stat. In the last 10 years, goals scored to win the Premier League. What number do you think Arsenal is in the last 10 years in goal favor?
I'll say 9th or 10th. They got to be low.
9th.
I got it.
Who do you think is behind them?
Leicester.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
Leicester. And where's Leicester now? And I'm not doing like a 1-to-1 correlation. No. Leicester is in League 1. They just got to. It's in League 2. Right? 71 goals. So clearly, they're not coming to score goals. They don't know how to do that. If it's not corner, they don't know. And I know I'm going a few places. When they needed to score goal in that game against Fulham, they came out. They came out. We know those boys could score. And, hey, I respect PSG. I know what they did to Bayern. I knew that Arsenal might still end up losing that game. But with the way they scored the first goal, it's like, you know what? How about this? Before we go to our Ram football, let's go get one more.
Yeah.
In trying to get one more, if we go 1-1, then we stay around.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't even try to go get one. They did not. They did. I can't remember any key pass. And when I mean key pass, like through the line by any of their midfielders yesterday.
And this is one thing that because I think I was talking to a Chelsea fan in church, and he was like, hey man, but why are people like hating on Arsenal so much? Like, they tried now. I was like, look, banter aside, I was surprised that the match, they lasted that kind of 120 minutes with PSG. So, but my problem with the way Arsenal played is just all the tactics of wasting time. They started wasting time first half 20-something minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Wasting time, putting the ball inside the field, throwing. I'm like,
2 balls on the field.
You did this towards the end when you know that, okay, I'm gassed and I just need anything that can give me advantage. In fact, there was one part, it was PSG throwing. Havertz, I think this probably said, Havertz went all the way to go and pick the ball to throw it inside the field. And then Hakimi was like, what are you doing? It's our ball. What's all this rubbish? They had to give Mosquera a yellow card because the ref was so fed up of telling them.
I'm happy that the ref did that.
All right, next piece I want to talk about some of the controversial calls in the game. Before I actually go into that, let's talk about PSG. The way they turned up to this final is almost as criminal as the way Arsenal played. And I was told you earlier, I was like, it's like all the PSG attacking players just forgot how to take people on and how to actually go 1v1 people. Like, I understand that they were doubling or tripling this thing, but the talent that is in that PSG attack, you don't care if they are marking you, double marking you. Kvaratskhelia, for example, many times Kvaratskhelia is cutting people, slicing people's fathers, chopping them away, running at them with pace. Kvaratskhelia did not do any of that. It was against a Mosquera, who is a center back by trade, playing in that left back position. And then you had Saka probably doubling up. There were times where he was one-on-one with Mosquera, and he didn't want it. He didn't want the smoke at all. It just like pass it back to Vitinha, pass it back to the middle, and then Dembele. Dembele got so frustrated, he stopped being a striker, became a midfielder, and they kept crossing the ball into an empty this thing. I was like, you are just making these people's job easier. So I don't know how you people thought about just the performance generally from PSG team as a whole, especially the attackers. The attackers, they did let me down a lot. To be honest, if they had lost this game, they will have deserved it because they didn't turn up to the final that I thought. This is not the PSG that I thought was going to turn up. This is not the PSG that played against Bayern that showed Bayern that if you test me, I will show you meme. This is not the PSG that turned up against them, because this PSG, this looked like, in fact, this is not even the PSG that turned up against Chelsea in the in the 3-0 battle that we gave them. At least that PSG, they were having chances. It's just because Sanchez decided to turn into God knows what, that he was saving one, and then obviously they couldn't finish. But this PSG, they were poor, bruh. Do you imagine that PSG did not score an open goal play against Arsenal? They needed a penalty, and that penalty, depending on what day, if it's a PGMOL referee, he will call it, oh no, it's all ball. He touched the ball.
Can I? Because told you, and you know how to put these things together, but I'm gonna lay defense for PSG a little bit,
Okay.
and then told you I want you to put it together. All right. So at the back, it was Mosquera, Saliba, right? So Saka will come, so you can understand. I don't think the problem was the wingers were lazy. I would say that much, but I think it was because PSG didn't have a direct attacker. Because one thing that we knew PSG is good with is when the field is open and we are moving and everybody is able to go left, right, is easy. But check what happened yesterday. Because Dembele wasn't occupying either Saliba or Gabriel, right? So the way Arsenal set up at the back was that, all right, Kvaratskhelia had the ball on the left to Mosquera. Saka comes to double. Since nobody was taking the attention of Saliba is covering the back of Mosquera also, which means even if you take the one-on-one and you beat him, Saliba was waiting. That is one. Two, Fabian Ruiz, he had a very poor game yesterday.
I don't know why he
very
lasted
poor
that
game.
long.
Because another thing that PSG always try to do is Vitinha and Gomez, they will be the one at the top of the key, right? And Dembele and Fabian Ruiz, because we were supposed to be almost like a second striker right there with Dembele. It wasn't doing that. It wasn't running those half spaces. You understand? So literally, Gabriel and Saliba was there all night, willing to cover for whoever is there. And on the other side also, it was Nkapé and Trossard doing the same thing to do it. And they even took more chances compared to Kvaratskhelia. Now, here's where my laziness, that I think the laziness comes in, that I will really blame them on. What gave them the first goal, just like the way Arsenal didn't continue to do what gave them the first goal, PSG stopped. What gave them the first goal? A 1-2 combination. It wasn't a dribble. It was Kvaratskhelia had the ball. I think he passed to, I forgot who he passed to for the first pass, and he just put it right behind. He ran through Nkapé, and Nkapé had to catch up. That's 1-2. You didn't have to beat your man one-on-one. It's just a combination, right? And they could go back to that multiple times. They could do that. And they didn't do that. Because, trust me, the fear of those center-backs is real. It's real. Like, you don't come across that defense for nothing, right? But you have to run at them. You have to make them commit. You have to put the ball. And when I say put the ball, you're not winning an area battle with Arsenal, right? So you can't put the ball in the air. You got to put the ball on the floor. And PSG did not do more of that. They didn't do the more of give and go, 1-2 combination. It's not, they did what United love to do when we don't know what to do, which is a U-shaped football. Us shoot. We go to the left, we come all the way back, then we come all the way back. And that's all they did all night long, which I understand, I mean, you have Rice, you have Luis Kelly. I get it. Punching through the middle is hard. Because once again, if you beat Rice, right behind Rice was Gabriel. Or Saliba. Right behind Luis Kelly was Gabriel. And once again, there were no center forward occupying this space, right? So that is, I mean, I'm not trying to absorb them on what they did. I think there are things they're supposed to do, but the genius of the setup of Arsenal, when there was no center forward there to occupy the two center backs, I think that's also something that matters. Told you, what do you think?
I think, and you touched on it a bit. While we are criticizing Arsenal for their lack of attack, we have to give them credit for their defensive set. There is a reason why PSG were, for the most part, stifled. It's because you typically don't see big non-Italian clubs set up in that kind of low block where you are not getting behind them. So it almost seems like what set up the penalty was like an anomaly, where it's like it was the one time that it presented itself. Like, you typically don't see Arsenal defenders running back towards their own goal.
That's true.
And
that's true.
It's almost like that's why he was grasping, kicking, and like he almost felt like he was in such an unfamiliar position that he just lashed out. And that's what. So while it's not attractive football, it's effective. But what that does is it also changes the mindset of your players. Your players are just being cautious. They're not attempting anything adventurous. They're just, it's like you're neutering your team. And I can understand that doing that maybe after the 70th minute, but doing it from the 7th minute, it's
and the thing is, you can't turn that off.
yeah,
No.
like you're not,
because now they're going to go into next season and everyone wants to play free attacking football, but you have drilled in a particular style of football into their head so much that it's going to affect how they even approach future games.
So
unless you change the personnel, the profiles of the players that are there.
Talking of not being able to turn it off, I want you to touch on this. 70th minute. Kvaratskhelia is off. They brought on Bakola. I forgot a couple of more people were off. I forgot their names off the top of my head. You could see that PSG was there for the taking. We used to think that PSG is deep. Honestly, after yesterday, I don't think PSG is deep.
Yeah, after you take out their starting
the fall off between the quality, and I'm not talking talent, between the quality of Kvaratskhelia and Bakola. I'm sorry. Bakola to me is almost like this guy that couldn't score against Emi Martinez. The way he tried to finish.
Oh, Kolomwani.
I know Bakola has more talent. I'm just saying of effectiveness, the end result. So why do you think that even when PSG became weaker yesterday, at 70th minute plus, why can't Arsenal turn it on to take advantage?
So I that's the thing. I don't actually think they got weaker. I think they became more direct because look at Bakola. I had, like, if his finishing was better, it would have been a different game. Because because the thing we're saying that why didn't Kava do any of, like, Bakola was doing that. He just didn't convert. So he's like, but then, like, the question asked, like, the drop off, if he was better than Kava, he wouldn't be on the bench.
It would be stuff. Yeah,
and he also wouldn't be possibly coming to the Premier League potentially this transfer window. Yeah,
really?
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll get.
Is it coming to Liverpool?
We'll get.
A lot of chatter around. A lot of chatter around.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
so it's
on the radar.
Because it's essentially like what was going on with Madrid, where they have 4 players for 3 spots, and Bakola is essentially the odd man out, and PSG are thinking about getting Alvarez. So if that pushes Dembele out wide, then Bakola is falling even further down the pecking order. So I wouldn't say there's that much of a drop off, but when your starters are your starters for a reason, like, there has to be a difference in not just performance, but in the confidence of the manager. And I think if you had converted even one of them, now you'd have Arsenal chasing. Yeah. Then that's whatever they had in defense would be much more open. And but saying, oh, why didn't Arsenal? It's like, why didn't Arsenal go out and attack? Have you not seen their movies? It's like it's like
So we've seen this before,
yes,
huh?
now it's like a car that's like a car that cannot make a U-turn is only driving in reverse. That's what they were doing.
True that.
Yeah.
True that.
That's what they're trying to do. So yeah, they were just like, okay, let's reduce the amount of open play time and see what happened when Saka was wasting time trying to take the corner kick,
For
and
the
the ref
corner,
was like,
thank God for that
Like,
ref, man.
the ref was
Thank
like,
God for
oh
that
yeah,
ref.
like we're in
quickly now.
when we're in stoppage time, yeah, so just blow the whistle. It's like okay,
Let me give you guys another nugget
Oh.
because I try to I listen to different people. It's another interesting nugget. So in the past one season, like calendar year, Arsenal signed I think about 6 players, right? How many one of them are attackers?
just in last year.
Yeah, in the past calendar
Eze,
year.
Yokeres,
Mhm,
Madueke.
mhm.
That's it. The rest of them are midfielders and defenders.
All right. How many of these attackers that were signed started the game? Exactly.
None of them. Yeah, look, one thing that Arteta is a. I'll try to look for the word for it.
Zero.
Arteta is a good coach, but he's also his talent ID is sus.
Mm.
And I don't know whether he's the one doing it or is Adrebeta doing it. But how in God's name you go spend 60 million on Madueke till today is the biggest scam that I've ever seen in my life.
I don't even have a problem with that because yes, players do flop and things like that.
And this
right?
one was already flopping. You saw him though.
Yeah, I get that. My problem is the idea of if you can't beat them, he went to out of everybody that went to the Pep school of coaching, how many one of them became a Judas Iscariot?
What?
How many? No, let's be honest. How many? Right? Company went to that school, is playing beautiful, sexy football, right? I think Enrique was an assistant to him at some point also, right? He's playing beautiful, sexy football, right? Who else? Maresca, tactical adjustment, game in, game out, beautiful football. Chelsea might not see it as sexy, but it's about to be back to City. Do you think City? Let's check this out. With what Arteta have done, with the way he's became Judas Iscariot of the Pep's disciple, do you think City will, with the type of football he's played, do you think City will hire him again?
No, definitely not.
Do you think City will hire him?
Not coming near that squad.
Because here's one thing I realized. Everything he learned from Pep, he was like, you know what? I've tried it. I couldn't win. I'm going to take the things I learned from David Moyes. I'm going to implement that and put it on the Pro Max level. That's what he did. If you slap blue on Arsenal, don't they look like Everton? Like the old Everton from back in the day? Let's keep it real. When Arteta himself was playing for Everton from back in the day, don't they look like that? The Jajeka, Phil Neville days. They look like that. That's what he knew.
Coleman with the cross.
Exactly. Long throws, corner kick, physical. I mean, told you faced them in those days. Doesn't this look like the when Liverpool, Everton, when Moyes was there? That is it. So I was just thinking about it. Out of everybody.
That's what JJ, that's where your first mistake is. He's not a Pep disciple, he's a Moyes disciple. That once you can accept that, everything else will make sense. He's not a Pep disciple. He's David Moyes' disciple. Accept that, and everything makes sense.
It makes sense now. And I just looked at everybody that came out, because even now that we heard it, it was Pep that recommended him for the Arsenal job. You know what? We think he's good. Maybe Pep have seen some of the session that he did. It was like, he did not learn any lesson. Yeah. He's doing the things that he learned from Moyes.
You can't bring down Moyes out of him. Let me send him to another place.
Send it
to the wilderness.
He's back. It's really bad. I mean, and this centre back thing, didn't Pep play Gaviot as a left foot, as a centre back on the left back? And he still played well.
All right. Let's move on very quickly to some of the controversies of the game. I want to get your takes on it. Obviously, the first one that I'm going to talk about is I'm not going to talk about the Trossard one because the Trossard one, I don't, unless people just want to create agendas for no agenda reason. I don't think that's a handball because literally his body was like this. Like, what's he supposed to do? Make his hands disappear?
Ball to hand.
Yeah. So, but that Saka one, how that Saka one does not get called as a penalty? I'm like, am I in a twilight zone? Like, did everyone not see this guy just lago and the thing hit his hand? And then we go next to the Madueke dive. It's a dive. So any Arsenal fans that come out here and say the referee did not, it's a dive. That guy is holding on to Nuno Mendes as if it's a Chanel handbag. Leave the brother alone. He owe you money. If you want to dribble, dribble. As soon as he held his hand and he got in front of Lobby, he now dive. And look at the guy smirking. And then Arteta had the temerity to say that it was a penalty. I said, these people don't watch the replay. I thought the small laptop that you have is tablet that you have by your side is for you to see close-up replay. Who in God mind will give that as a penalty? But honestly, that just adds fuel to the fire of when you talk about anti-football that you are. It just adds fuel to the flames of it. But lo and behold, Arsenal becomes the first team to become undefeated and not win anything in the Champions League. So shout out to them. We need to give them the trophy. Let's give them the props. Props to undefeated, to the undefeated non-champions of the Premier League, Champions League. Kudos to you. Maybe we should make the award gold because they were asking for if they won undefeated, they wanted it to be gold. We'll make this trophy gold for you people. Don't worry, FedEx is coming with your trophy very soon. They also have Arsenal now also becomes the team to field the youngest player to lose the Champions League. Let's shout out to them. Hallelujah for that. Hallelujah for that.
Young shall grow.
The young shall grow. Don't worry, you will learn from this. And then lastly, they become the longest team to have played 200 and how many is it? 26 or 66 matches without not winning the UEFA Champions League. So well done to that. They are smashing records. They are smashing records. So even when they don't win, they are still smashing records. They are still making history. So shout out to Arsenal. Don't worry. We go again next year, FC, right? Netflix FC still continues in the Champions League. So if you think that the banter is over, we are just starting. We have just started. And with all that saying, we'll now round up this segment by saying, you never sing that. You never sing that. Champions of Europe. You never sing that. Hold that. All right? You think you are going to come out here and oppress us on this internet? Think again.